Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Rican's the name of the show. Dive into the worlds you already know. From the big screens to the comic store. Super stories and so much more.
Welcome back. Hey, season 3 of Nerdy Weekend.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all.
Merry Christmas.
And again, back again. More stories, more things to talk, more edges that we're going to take to go and see if we can get canceled or not.
Yes.
So, I am New Year Mo.
I am unfortunately still want to say it.
And I'm going to laugh with her all day today.
Oh, yeah. We're the Wonder Twins today.
They're the Wonder Twins, so if they bump each other, whatever.
So I'll start it off.
I'll take the form of.
Go ahead, start it off.
Form of. No. So there's been casting news as far as Stranger Worlds go. They finally announced who's going to be playing Dr. McCoy.
Who is it?
and Sulu. We'll start with Sulu first quickly because Sulu is a complete unknown. He's a Japanese actor.
Okay.
He's British, I believe. Mm-hmm. This is his first on-screen
Is he British or Japanese?
He's Japanese-British.
That's
what apparently that's what I was looking up. But he has no other film credits. It's his first
first time in the Americas.
Yes.
Debuting.
Yes. He's done theater work, but that's about it.
That's it.
So McCoy. It's Thomas
You
Jane.
didn't get the guy's name.
I don't know his name. I know his
Kai
name.
Murakami.
Kai Murakami is the guy who's playing Sulu.
Okay, good for
Okay.
him.
And
Good for him.
Thomas
But
Jane.
the other one, Thomas Jane?
Thomas Jane.
Why?
Punisher himself. I don't know why.
So I love Thomas Jane.
Isn't
I
he?
know this.
Same here.
But he's too old. And
Wait,
I was
wait.
telling you yesterday.
Isn't he your age?
Yeah.
And
The thing is,
he's
okay,
your
wait,
age
wait,
too.
wait.
What you talking about?
McCoy?
Me and I.
He's your age. Why
They're
would
on
he?
wheels. Watch it.
Wait. So McCoy, and I was telling Dad this.
I'm spoiled milk.
Yes, you are.
Dude, McCoy? No.
Wait, what?
He's
Whoa.
Aging, no. He's aging like spoiled milk. And I love this man, but yeah, he's too old. McCoy's only supposed to be 6 years older
Yeah.
than
most of the people.
Kirk. Specifically Kirk, right? And I think he's 3 years older than Spock, because it's Kirk, Spock, McCoy. So that's the age range. Yeah, he's way too old for that. And I love him. He's Undiscovered Country McCoy. I would have loved it if they were doing older movie versions of
But
them.
now,
but he's
how-
way too old for that.
The doctor they got now, I like
Benga.
him. I like him.
I love that actor.
I
yeah.
love him.
But
He's
if
really
they're
good.
Remember, no spoiler here, but they already told it that at the end of season 5, we'll then introduce what's his name?
Kirk.
Is it really a spoiler if they're introducing the characters from the original series? I wonder who's gonna.
No, one that was already in there from Vampire Diaries. I forgot his name now.
Steph
Paul
Hussey?
Wesley. Paul Wesley, who was already. Stefan Ray.
Anybody who's a Vampire Diaries fan knows what Stefussi is, but
Oh God.
I will explain it to you guys
So
later.
Paul Wesley, who's been playing the character of Captain Kirk, he's Captain Kirk for these past 2, now going on 3 seasons.
We love Paul Wesley.
So Paul Wesley, they're gonna have a transition that's gonna happen.
him.
So that year 5 is the year 5 where everything happens. Where, of course, what's his name? Anson Mount.
Are they
will
gonna
suffer.
show it on screen?
They've already filmed it already, and they use it as flashbacks.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So that
Technically,
means
it's
already there. They just have to fill in whatever else and the transition, and then him being in the chair. And once he's in the chair, of course, the transition of now Paul Wesley, aka now Captain Kirk, sitting in the captain's chair. So that's why Bones and Sulu, you have Scott, yeah, Bones, Sulu, Scotty, right? And you're gonna have Spock. And at this point, Una should be on her way out.
No
Erica?
one really knows what happened to
Because
Una.
remember, because at that time when Paul Wesley becomes, Captain Kirk, he becomes captain of the Enterprise, at that point, Spock should be number 1.
No.
He's his number 1.
No, when the okay, first of all, and I'm
No,
I'm-
yeah.
Spock was number 1?
No.
He was not number 1 originally.
No.
It was Mitchell. Mitchell was his number 1, and then when Mitchell died, he became number 1.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Ha ha.
so they're going to have a Mitchell. They haven't announced
They have-
Mitchell. They haven't announced the Mitchell yet. But the thing is,
Because number one was played by Majel Barrett.
Michelle
Yeah, but that
Barrett,
was
yes,
for
who
Pike.
is amazing.
so the eventuality is even it will have to be that she gets her own ship. She's gonna get her own
So
ship.
now, here's the question.
Shoot.
Do you think they should film 5 seasons or 1 season of Star Trek with Kirk?
Here's the thing. We both agree on that, and we look at it, and there have been rumors thrown about, even in the interview with the cast itself, where we're going to go from Star Trek Strange New Worlds to Star Trek where no one has gone, where no man or no one has gone before. I mean, or Year One, which
Year one makes it sound like a comic book
Yeah, nah.
it does.
storyline.
Yeah, they're like Batman Year One, that
Yeah,
comic book.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh,
No,
so
no.
it kinda
I
gives
think
you
it
that
should be
feel.
called Where No One Has Gone Before.
I agree. Now, should they do Year
the
One?
library? To the library?
But out of all the captains of memory, Captain Kirk has had the Enterprise for over 10 years, the longest of all captains. So it's not to say if they did even first 5 seasons and then boom, wherever continues at that point with the original series, wherever they want to end it. I like to see it continue because it's still great. It still reminds me of the original series, and there's still a lot more stories to tell. 'Cause remember, the original series ended in 3.
Yeah.
Ended in 3. It didn't end in 5, like they said, like a 5-year mission.
But they filmed almost like 5 seasons worth of it.
They
But
did.
So
if
it's
they
like-
do that, they have to lock in the actors that are going to come in now.
That's
Well,
fine.
who's
They
not
also
to say
it's
that?
the
Thomas
writing.
Jane might be
It's
dead by
the
then
ri-
because he's old.
The writing too. Remember, I pointed out
I didn't
multiple
say
times.
that. He did.
I think he'll still be alive, but the writing too is also inconsistent in certain things that they bring forward into the story, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, but in the episode this is like I'm very vehement in my. I don't think this is a spoiler. This is just like a fan theory. I think they're gonna kill off La'an, because remember when they first met Khan, they didn't recognize his name. Mind you, they've been serving with her for years. So she either been killed off or erased. And that's why they don't remember who Khan Noonien Singh is. Because that was like her whole thing. Her whole thing is,
about her
I am the
grandfather?
great granddaughter of this massacring, megalomaniac and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden,
Superman.
a couple years later, she's no longer serving with them. As far as we know, they don't remember the name at all. They don't even put 2 and 2 together that this might be the same Khan Noonien Singh, or even just the name Noonien Singh. Period. So there's something there. If they want to be consistent, if not, they can just keep doing what they're doing right now and just make it a fan fiction, which is what it is, literally a glorified live action fan fiction. I'm still eating up, by the way.
Memory serves, Space Seed. They didn't know who Khan was, and then they figured it out going way back. Only person that figured it out was the historian that wound up being with him when she committed mutiny. So maybe that premise
Also,
is going
Khan
to be there.
is a title, it's not a name. So
Right.
his real name is actually just Noonien Singh. Khan is his title. But
I got a question for you guys.
no.
Why don't they do a Star Trek based on a story on each person? If they do something like that, whose story do you want to know of?
Wait, like an individual character story arc? I
Right.
think that'd be phenomenal. I think every character should get their own
whose
little.
character will you love?
I want McCoy to have his own storyline because like I personally love his backstory and I think that it should be delved into a little bit more. We could see a little bit more Sulu. We know Sulu's family backstory during like World War II-ish, but we don't know his specific backstory. Chekhov, we just know that like Chekhov is
I want to know
amazing.
Kirk's, only because I want to know what triggered his horniness.
In
That's Academy, Starfleet Academy.
So we got what was it? I want to know more about Tarshish 4 if we're going to go into Kirk's backstory, the whole on that planet, what happened with Kodos. I'm like, I would pay money to have a deeper dive into that backstory because I think that's so compelling with his character and his backstory and stuff like that, and it also adds to the whole not giving into no-win scenarios because it started from a young age.
I
would
wanna know
love
the
it.
backstory of Pete, the guy that pushes the button in the back. Nobody know his name.
Chief Kyle, who the other
Kyle.
episode we were cracking up.
Press the button.
Wasn't he a transporter chief at one point?
He is the transporter chief. Chief Kyle is the skinny Asian dude, but the girls got in trouble in the one episode, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna send you
I
Chief
didn't know
Kyle," and they're like, "He's so mean."
I didn't know
And I'm
his
like,
name
"Why
until
does that
that
like?
episode.
I need more."
I didn't know his name when they said we're gonna tell Chief. I was like, who the hell is they talking about?
Yeah.
It was a guy
And
that
that's from the
pushed
original
button.
series. So that's why the
Yep.
first time I heard it, I'm like, "You mean the skinny Asian twink?" And
Yeah,
they're
that
terrified of
pushes the
him.
button.
If you were talking, like, if we're talking about, like, origin story for me, and we had talked about this, like, way back from
Honestly?
when in the beginning of the first season, right? I had talked about the idea that if they did an origin story, they should do one on Uhura. And there should
Uhura's
be,
another good one.
And there should be a scene where her grandmother, you know, God rest her soul, Nichelle Nichols would be the one who played her
That would have
grandmother.
been so nice.
That is what I wanted to see.
Yeah, that would have
Because
been
at
really,
least
really nice.
That comes full circle. That brings it full circle with her. You know, the OG coming on board and the new G's taking over,
Right.
and then you have them transitioning as grandma and granddaughter.
The only character we don't know anything about right now in Stranger Worlds, not from the original series, is Mitchell, the Asian helmsman.
In Strange New.
No, we know nothing about her other than the fact that she's the cohort to. She's Ortega's Chekhov. We know nothing about her other than that.
And
That's
of course,
it.
especially definitely a background when it comes to Ortega's, because the only thing we know now is that she's got a brother who's interested in the show.
He sucks at making documentaries.
Oh yeah,
I like Ortega though.
he can't take a haymaker from his sister.
That episode was so
He
good
got a
though.
glass jaw.
I love all the stuff we learned
I
about
was
the different
upset
characters.
when the Gorn got shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we were all
But
really
that
upset.
reminded me of that movie Enemy Mine.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Enemy
was
Mine
like,
is
and
so
that was
good.
incredible. It was like, "Ah, this is so Enemy Minefield."
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
But the last episode was definitely giving Attack on Titan.
Oh.
And I kept cracking up because I'm like, first of all, they turned Marie into Sailor Pluto, essentially. She became the protector of the universe. And then they had the whole cabin in the mind scene that Attack on Titan had where he said goodbye to what's her name? I forget her
And
name
I
right
have
now.
a theory about that.
Oh my God.
I have a theory about that. Let's be honest here. Like, as far as not the cast members. I mean, cast members are just cast members, and they have their things, and they love their things, and we see it coming out. But we're talking about the crew. I mean, as far as crew is concerned, everywhere from writing to the boom mics, everyone somewhere along the line have grown up with this stuff. Have grown up
Yeah.
watching. Because remember, in their time, or our time to be exact, we had anime. We had Star Trek, we had Star Wars, we had Battlestar Galactica, we had all of that. And in the 90s, even remakes and stuff. So it's not beyond the realm of lunacy to say that while you're getting feels of Attacks on Titan, or if you're getting feels of, say, you're stupid enough to say Speed Race or whatever, because all of us have put that influence in there somehow, that one of us is going to say, yeah, I got that kind of Enemy Mine feel. I got that whole Attack on Titan feel, because that's the nostalgia of everything that we've ever enjoyed as nerds growing up. And even you guys, the audience out there, you know it. You cannot say there's not a time that says, you know, that feels like, or that reminds me of.
Well, that's the whole
because
point of
that's
writing.
the influence we put into it.
Yeah, and that's also the whole point of writing is
You
to
know-
create those connections.
You guys mentioned characters that you want to know about from start. You know what I want to know?
Huh?
You know what I want to know?
What?
I want to know the story of the Enterprise itself as it's being built.
That would be a
Well, that
dope.
goes back
Dude,
to the end.
remember? You haven't seen Doctor Who? There was a whole Doctor Who episode where it was called "The Doctor's Wife," where the TARDIS becomes human and he's able to interact with her and find out why she like you find out she chose him. She was like, "Oh, you didn't steal me. I stole you. I wanted to see the stars, and I would love an episode like that." And that was written by Neil Gaiman too,
with
which
the
is why it was so
Enterprise.
good.
And then what inspired? I would like to know what inspired. Okay, we have for example, the NX.
Annex one, yeah.
That's what they call them when they're experimental.
The first Enterprise.
The first.
Okay, what inspired to make the second? What
She fell
inspired to
apart?
make the third?
Maybe
Well,
she fell
But
apart.
by the time we made the first Enterprise ship, there was already the Excelsior.
Well, by that time, yes, but there is a procession to that, and we'll get back to it after a few, after we pay some sponsors to get a chance to talk whatever.
Yes.
Well, we'll be back with more North Ricans on that subject. Stay tuned. Again, Shinoda was good. And we're going to continue what we left off. And to your question, as far as the type of ships, the NX-01 was experimental, but, and remember this from the episode of Strange New Worlds, Old Scientists, they were looking for a piece of type of metal that was only in the NX class. By that time, the NX class were already out of service and in mothballs. Because they wanted to bring one up. So no, the tradition was that every new starship created would carry a piece of the ship
Last
prior
ship, yeah.
to it inside. And that's, was it,
Lower decks?
No, it was not in Lower Decks. It was in Strange New Worlds because at the time, Uhura and Erica were lifting up the plate from
Yeah, that was the
engineering.
crossover episode with Strange Lower
And
Decks.
they pulled
Yeah.
out the piece, but they were talking about their counterparts. Like, they were talking about
Hoshi
Hoshi
Sato.
Sato, she knew 87 languages. And then, of course, Erica talking about, what's his name, as the first pilot of the NX-01. So those were their inspirations to become that. Like the two, even though they were animated, but they came into the real world, the people from the Enterprise, 1701, not AD, because it was funny, he goes on the bridge and says, not A, not B, not C, not even D. And they're like,
What goes
what
after the
there?
dash?
What goes after the dash?
That's one of my favorite episodes, These Old Scientists.
It's the
So
Constitution class.
that's what it is, because the Enterprise,
And then I think in
the Enterprise 1701, from the first time it was constructed, and Robert April was the captain of that one, and then 5-year mission ended, and then he promoted Pike to become the captain 5 years or whatever years before his accident happened. Then it became Kirk.
we were talking about he was captain for a very long time because when we see the accident in Discovery, it is still 10 years until that accident. And that means that he was and he was already just finishing a 5-year mission because they took him from the Enterprise and they put him on the
Yeah,
Discovery.
the Enterprise went back.
So he went back to the Enterprise. Or he was not even that. He was still captain of the Enterprise.
He was still
Because
captain
remember
of the
when he went
Enterprise. He
back
only
to the
took it
Enterprise, Una was like,
temporarily.
"Oh, welcome back, Captain." They literally took him from the ship and just put him on Discovery for that little bit of time to help them.
Yeah, because
So he was
remember,
still
Enterprise
captain.
went down. It went down.
Talos already happened. We already know that.
Yep.
So it's already been a couple of years since Talos 4. So yeah, he's been captain
Cage,
for a good like 10
otherwise-
years. Yeah, the Cage.
The
episode.
Cage, otherwise
So
known in that.
he would have been
So
captain for like a good 10
that's
plus years already.
Like 15. Remember, even in Star Trek 3, when he wanted to take when the Admiral at the time wanted to take it back out to go back to Genesis to see what happened, he said, Kirk, look, the Enterprise is 25 years old.
Yeah.
It's already lived its day. And even though it was a refitted, remember, because when she went back to space dock around the last 5-year mission, which was actually the first one that Kirk did, it went through a major refit, all new technology. That's why it stood up against V'ger's with its new shields, but it couldn't stand up to it for long. But all that new technology, it was still the same Enterprise.
I like that, and people knock that movie down, but I like it because for me, it always makes me wonder: was this the Borg's? Did the Borg have something to do with that?
That's a great question.
With what?
With
V'ger.
V'ger, the whole thing with V'ger, the distance that it carried, all the technology it brought back, what it encountered, and did it encounter the Borg?
And did the
V'ger?
Borg help it? In other words, did they help it be what it is?
I love the original
I don't
motion
think
picture
it
movie,
was.
but it's just a rehashing of the original series episode where they found the actual, what was it, the component that joined forces with, it was like
What have you been drinking?
what was the name of the robot that was like floating around?
Put it in
And
minds if you whatever the fuck you
I wish.
have.
No, I don't have any.
That's the first one, okay. It's the first one of
First of the new year. Mazel tov. No, what was it? It converged with a probe that had been sent out by aliens that was sent to sanitize and collect samples. And remember, it converged with the other creature, the other little robot, and it started killing everybody on the ship. It killed Scotty first, and then it resurrected Scotty.
Wait.
It took Uhura's brain.
Nomad?
Nomad.
Nomad.
That literally, V'ger is rehashing of that episode. They find it that the same thing happens, and you find out it was a space probe that we sent out that converged with an alien space probe. They couldn't understand it. It was killing people off, and then they finally understood what was going on. It was just that it was a mishap of the overlaying programming
Yeah.
joining together.
That's
This is
how
the
they
same.
defeat-
Literally,
that's how
the first time I
Kirk
watched the
defeated
movie, I'm like, I just watched that episode, so I was like, this is the same storyline. So
there's a lot of.
it could be fun to
remember-
use the Borg as that idea, but
Well, the Borg assimilate to enhance their perfection because they're looking to be perfect. So they assimilate everything, whatever it is. They don't take time to learn it. No, now we know it.
Yeah.
So if that was the case, by the time we came to Earth, that V'ger would have been a Borg probe, and it would have just
Essentially,
assimilated everything in sight. Not the Enterprise that anybody could figure out how to defeat it at that point. No, not at all.
But the simulation that it was doing, was it like the simulation that the Borg were feasibly doing?
Well, it was
There is
assimilating knowledge, but
fun
not in
fan
that
theory,
way.
though, about the Borg that there have been incidences that they are tied to. No one really goes into like the incidences themselves, but the idea that they have been slowly sending out probes or sending out like one cube here or something over here to slowly get the Federation to a point with their technology, so that way they can just go in and get what they need. Like basically, like raising up the perfect food.
One of my favorites.
I think that's terrifying
Very
and really
terrifying.
cool.
One of my favorite is the one when they're introduced to the Borg.
Oh yeah, the Q.
Because of Q.
Because of Q.
And
Yes. Always Q.
Always cute.
Q.
I love him.
And Trelane in the original series, because
I
I was just
love
rewatching that episode.
All he did was say, "Oh, you ready?"
Yes.
And then sent them into System J25,
I love
which is
him.
somewhere
But
in the
that
Delta
means
Quadrant.
we wouldn't even know that Borg wouldn't even have known about humans.
They would have known later in time, but by that time the Federation might have been more prepared to have some sort of
So
resistance.
do you think the Q did them a favor?
That's you know what? That's a catch-22 question, double-edged sword, because you could say yes, because now they're aware of them, and now they've been spending their time. That's why the Defiant was created. The Enterprise E was outfitted to take on and fight the Borg, and then Voyager, of course, with the future episode Endgame, where she created armor instead of shields for the ship, transphasic torpedoes that with one blew up one whole Borg, and so. That could be the yes part because now they were more prepared, but they lost a lot of lives.
but in
you got to
Voyager-
think of Wolf 359, that battle.
In Voyager, that was made out of necessity.
Well, no, Voyager
They
was
needed
because
to
when
do that.
it brought back the captain 25 years later after they returned home. But they lost a lot of people, and but they developed technology against the Borg during that time. So she wanted, and then they developed a way to go back into time to that certain point to grab them because she already had knowledge and know where to. That's why she took them to that what is it? That nebula that had the transwarp conduit that would go to. They had it all set up to go to different places, and one of them was to go to Earth, like that, be at Earth, no longer in the Delta Quadrant. But the other Janeway, in her position to deal a serious blow against the Borg that would at least maybe halt them to assimilating other places, destroy the hub. But that means risking their opportunity to go home. But when they did come back home, and that's the part I was telling her about, when Nemesis came out, they came back home with enough time and transphasic torpedoes and armor. They could have outfitted ships at that time with that. That whole situation, Nemesis facing off that Remus ship. If Picard said armor, I'd have lost it, bro.
And what did
Oh
I say?
yes.
What did I say in response to that? And if you don't think the government won't deny you your rights, you're wrong. As much as I love the futuristic take on it, it's still a governmental body. It's still people with their own self-interest. I 100%.
Federation.
I understand them being like, you know what, this can't be. We can't share this technology. They can't even know we have this. Even the episode where they stole the in the original series when they stole the shielding that was making the Romulans invisible.
Okay, so
even stuff like that, they had the technology and they still never put it on all
but they
their
had a
ships.
treaty.
With all that
the Treaty
technology.
of Algernon prevented that from happening. So because they had the perfect cloak, it was a phase cloak. That means a ship could go through the asteroid, stay invisible, and not have to worry about a field. They don't have to hide themselves. I mean, yeah, they're visible, they're hidden, but if they had to move, they could move through solid objects because they can phase as well as turn invisible.
Well,
But the Treaty of Algernon prevented the United Federation of Planets to develop that stuff. Only they can have it, but they can't. That's why it was strange. The one exception to that was Deep Space Nine and the Defiant, because the Defiant was the only ship in the Federation
Had a
that
cloaking
carried
device.
a Romulan, not a Klingon, which I would have thought, since we're allies, you could give me a cloak. No, they got it from another enemy that became an ally in that
Klingons were
war.
like, yeah, you could have
Gave
this.
them the cloak.
We took this from somebody
Because
else.
I think the Romulan one is more compatible.
Yeah.
It's more compatible.
Literally, it was just like a
but lot
component
better
that
than
they
the Klingon
attached
one.
to, yeah.
And sorry, Kopla, and all that, but Romulan technology was a lot better.
So who do you think would win in a fight, a Romulan scientist or a Klingon scientist?
I would definitely say a Klingon scientist, because you know what? They're compatible in strength, but you know what? You cannot defy the tenacity of a Klingon. No honor. Oh man, they're all hot
No.
when they fight.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go against you. I think a Romulan.
I think so too. I was thinking the same thing.
I think a
Romulan.
Romulan scientist is way more
Ruthless.
better. Yeah, because
They have more technology.
and Klingon.
I don't,
Yeah.
and they're not worried about
Klingon
honor.
is
And
they're
Klingon's
brute
honor
force.
is not the honor that we understand as moralistically right.
brute
It's
force,
their
where-
honor.
I mean, like
Klingon
war.
loses a finger. No, we're gonna chop his arm off now.
No, for
Yeah,
real,
yeah.
for real, for real.
They'd rather go for the arm than the finger.
Now, I have a
What's
question.
the finger's gonna do?
I have a question though. Star Trek with all its technology,
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Federation.
Still better than Star Wars.
Watch your mouth. My only problem is, why is it in Discovery there's still a guy in a wheelchair?
You're gonna have to ask the guy in the
There's
wheelchair.
only one guy throughout
But he
the.
was not part of the Federation. He
Yes.
was part of the Emerald Chain.
No. he darted across the screen in the background.
He darted the back.
Yeah, he was in the
Is that
background.
you?
No, I wish. I wish.
You
And
know that TikTok thing where it's like real quiet here.
yeah, and then it wasn't even a motorized chair. He was pushing himself.
Pushing himself.
It wasn't even hovering.
No.
That's so not
Why?
right.
Why is there still handicapped people in the future?
Well,
Remember,
didn't that take place after the
in
burn?
the same Discovery,
So maybe they lost some of the technology to make motorized.
in the same Discovery, they had someone in a wheelchair, and it was automatic in season 4.
Oh man.
Season 3.
Which what? And
In
which one?
season 3 of Discovery, when they were already in the 31st century,
Oh.
right? And they found a new source of dilithium, and they were captured. The Emerald Chain brought in a chief scientist who was bound in a wheelchair.
Yes.
But it
Why
was
is he in a
automatic
Not in
wheelchair.
the hover and all this.
Why is he in a wheelchair still with all that
Why
technology?
did medical technology erase the idea of being people paralyzed? And all
They
that?
still have
I don't know.
cancer in that universe, for God's sakes. Rebecca's daughter was dying from that. So it's like there's certain
Yeah.
aspects of human development that
You
I
would
guess
think-
doesn't.
No, but at least they could have what they have now, the leg thing that lifts you up and you walk.
Yeah.
Look,
Oh, you mean the
there are
endoskeleton?
actors.
An endoskeleton.
Look, there
yeah.
are actors who deserve to have a role, and they're just like, you know what, we're just gonna.
Yeah, because
just let it
not
fly
for
over our
nothing-
head.
He really was sick with him, because he did. I think I think he did die a couple of years after that.
You talking
particular
shit about this
character?
dude, and he's not even with us
dead.
anymore.
Well, I hate
Shame
to,
on you! No.
Well, I hate to say this, but I mean, the only handicap I've seen, and it's in a Burger King commercial, and excuse me, please don't get offended at what I'm about to say, but they made him look gay.
I mean, what?
They made him look gay.
But it was
Because-
kinda not,
Because
not
he's in a
super-
wheelchair and he's happy and he's like, you gotta have it your way.
Adios.
Yeah, I'm like,
Was he
what
wearing a
the-
crop top?
we finally get on TV and we are made to look gay.
It's okay. Look, being a gay person myself, when I see other gay people on
You-
TV, and I'm like,
wait.
why are they so gay?
Wait, what did you want him to say? Yeah, baby, choke on it.
Yeah. Right on this.
There you go. Now slide it around that milkshake.
The meat was
Slide around
good.
that
You got
milkshake.
the Nick sauce coming out the side.
The meat was good.
Staring at the girl in the
Where's
counter.
the meat?
Your milkshakes bring all the boys in the yard.
No,
That's right.
the Spock version of that is so much better.
They could have had a girl riding and he's driving down the thing. And she's going, ba, 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 I'm loving it.
Ah, let's go.
Have him control the stick and shit.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
All right,
Awesome.
back to Star Trek. We're gonna.
So, ships of the line have changed. That's the Constitution class. That's the longest running Constitution class that they had until Picard, when they then brought back the Constitution, but they call it a Neo-Constitution class. And that's where the Enterprise G comes from.
Bigger, better,
Bigger.
brighter.
So,
They just literally get bigger
And it
and
hit the G
bigger.
spot.
well, they get bigger and bigger, but still the most powerful of the smallest ships it's still the Defiant. The Defiant only had like 100 crew on board that ship, but it was made to fight and defeat. Well, I don't know about defeat, but fight the Borg.
Yeah.
And it took on larger crafts, Klingon-sized class that it just went around in circles like a
Doing
little bee, but it was doing
It's like
damage. Its weapons can do damage.
It was the Millennium Falcon.
Literally, I was going around the ship.
It was the Millennium Falcon.
I was thinking like an X-wing, but okay.
No, well, that one was running from the Borg, if I'm not mistaken, from First Contact. So don't talk that.
And we'll be right back with more of the Rican stuff.
It was a runner.
Come, let's play. LDM Radio. Come, let's play. Fun is what we crave.
Let's go.
You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio. Another long stretch of continuous music.
Back into time. Flashback.
Make my move, gonna live my dream, gonna make my
New York City's LDM Radio.
The best radio station in the world is right here, right now.
And welcome back to where we will now begin talking about
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. And if you didn't see it, it's your problem.
La 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 la.
Spoiler
alert. Jinx.
It's your problem.
So here's the thing.
Well, first of all, what do we think about, there's three of us, in terms of voting? What do we think?
Did I love it? Did I hate it?
Yeah.
I liked it.
Do you think it completed the season?
That's the problem I have. It's like I did read and hear.
Seeing as how
spin-offs, movie.
Do you think the Duffer Brothers ruined, because the first 4 seasons came on strong, this last season, maybe it was the way they broke it up, but it kind of, like, the interest wasn't as
I
That's the
have
best way I
only
can say
seen.
this, but I'll let her. No, you say it. I'll give you my interpretation of what I think I saw.
So I've only seen the first couple episodes of the first season, couple episodes of the second season, and then fast forward to watching the last like 5 episodes. Just not even watching them fully all the way through, just catching what he was watching, because there would be points where I was like in my own little world.
Be careful what you say, because I will not.
Walking in and out of the room.
And
Oh, I know
was
that
I
part
not?
already.
Wait, oh yeah, because I was TikTok. A lot of stuff was popping up at TikTok, so I was talking about different fan theories with him and asking him questions, and then he was like, "Oh, I didn't even think of that," or "I didn't notice that," and I'm like, "I'm not even watching the show, and I know more than you do right now." But even I felt like, knowing the progression of the story and almost everything that has come out from it, even I was kind of like, this is dumb. Like, I literally halfway through at one point, I'm like, this is the dumbest explanation for this. I didn't like this. I kept calling out anime references. And I know that they do anime references because it was inspired by anime, but it got to a point where I'm like, nothing in this feels original.
Can that window open?
I even showed him the exact panel
jumping out of it?
from
No, I'm
Elfen
gonna
Lied,
throw
because I
her
know
out.
Elfen Lied inspired them, but they literally had panels from different like animes, like just like I don't know. I thought it was kind of boring.
My take.
We're on the 5th floor, right?
Yeah.
I could survive this.
My take on it. So when I watch it as just as it is, story, whatever, just try to read the story, it reminded me and kind of had that Endgame feel. Like, it had a slow beginning to it, because right now they're in the upside and they have this plan, and it's like I almost missed, like, I watched the last and I had to go back. Wait, I had to find out what the plan was.
Oh, because
and how
I
everybody
mentioned
came
it to
back.
him.
Right, and I was like, oh, I did miss one episode, so I watched that episode.
I not said anything.
Then continued on to the next one, so I can go, okay, but then when I'm watching it as it is, it's like it kind of reminds me of Endgame, the whole time heist, the whole idea of what they had to do to get there. And then when they get there, you know, people are waiting for that whole climactic final fight between Vecna and Elle. And I'm like, or Jane, because now her real name came about because she found her sisters. All right, so I'm seeing the battle as it unfolds, and I'm like, to me, that was still too short. Should have had more of a climax to it, more of a big thing, but it was good enough. It was good enough, especially when it came to Mama Dukes, and she pulled out, you know, what she pulled out. It's like, you mess with, well, the word is not mess, it's and that's all I'm gonna say, with the wrong family. And
Fudge.
Fudge. Yeah,
All I know,
Fudge.
had I been writing that, half those kids would have not survived. I told Dad, if I was writing that, only 3 of them would have survived, and that's it.
I'm gonna say something. I know a lot of people, Stranger Things, gonna get pissed at me, but Stranger Things was one of those things I can put on and listen to. I don't have to watch, and it felt to me like the Goonies met it.
Oh.
I said the it thingy at one point.
Yes,
I said it.
It was a
Modern
meme that
time.
you talked about.
You
They
know?
said, why don't you use those kids to fight
Oh yeah,
it?
someone said like, oh, the younger kids that they were on the side of Vecna. They're like, oh, those kids want to smoke so bad, send them to do it. Send them to do it. And I lost it. I was like, I have no
Yeah,
context clues. Even I was cracking up.
Exactly.
Suck
Especially
my
the last
word.
season.
Dude, that kid
Last
was. I love that
season really
kid.
Made it feel like that. That's
Yeah.
why I was like,
It's
I
all
don't even
leading
think
up to
I
this.
watched it. I think I more listened to the last
That
season.
that kid, the little chubby one,
Yeah.
suck my wall.
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
Suck my fat
I just
one.
keep
He was
calling
like
him
that.
Hercules
Oops,
Mulligan
sorry.
because of the edit I showed you.
Yeah.
So I just keep calling him Hercules Mulligan, even though
Yeah.
that's not his name.
That kid,
It's
That kid is
not.
funny.
he's gonna go far.
He is.
He's gonna
Yeah.
go far
Funny.
because they even gave him his own little side things on Instagram.
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he gets them picked up, and the guy
And
that
then
plays
this.
Vecna, the guy that plays
Oh,
Vecna,
Jamie Campbell.
he loves
So-
him. He fell in love with him. He was like, this kid is amazing. This
He is.
I love Jamie Campbell,
He's
period.
got that great comedic timing, and then that scene where he's like, and the guys go,
Well, I told you the fan theory about that behind that. So
Yeah.
there was like a whole that, again, spoiler alert if you have not seen it, that how the whole thing did 11 die? Like, did that really happen?
Oh God,
And
yes.
I hope
so
not.
someone in the comments said, "Well, what if the entire time, like, it was already an illusion, right? That by the time that they got back onto the, was it the
Cave?
box cart to go across to then figure out how they were going to destroy it, that she was already she wasn't in the car, that was an illusion." And that's why she's not talking during that scene. She's not really interacting. The only thing she's interacting with is the only person who can really mentally see her, and that's Mike.
See, I thought about
So-
that with her sister. I thought that her sister was made up because not too many people interacted with her.
Yes, but we know she was real. But because of her ability to create illusions, it's very like, you know.
And you know why I think she survived? The kryptonite was on. That's what they're calling it. The
well,
the machines.
The machines.
And she whispered. She didn't get affected by it. Usually that
yeah, I
But she
did
was also
show
able to
because
go into this kid's mind. Again, pulled another Attack on Titan moment where she pulled him into her mind palace and
I
had that
wasn't
conversation
there.
with him.
She was not in the area
She
where
escaped.
this was happening.
I think she escaped.
Either
escaped,
she
yes.
escaped, or they did it in a way that they did stay behind, in that the illusion wasn't so much of the illusion of, oh, I might have survived, as no, they died together, her and Kali. Because even though they show Kali, and again, everything's from Mike's perspective. We don't have any full, real, like,
Yeah, but
actual
Mike
from the
pers-
other character's perspective.
Mike's perspective was, as he wrote it in the D&D game, was that the illusion was creating the illusion of her right behind in the upside when the upside was blown up. But he didn't realize until graduation when they had a feedback from the mic
Yeah.
from the speaker, and that was the same 3 speakers, that if she was around it, we saw plenty of time what she's like this, she could barely walk.
Yeah, so she
I mean,
wasn't.
she not like barely walk, like, but she couldn't have been standing there all calm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that whole invisibility bit, okay, she could have been made invisible at that moment from Sister, who probably did not die. Because I said to her, did you not notice in the explosion the gun just slightly moved over? So she
Could
might
have
have
faked
had
the
a wound,
bullet
but
wound.
not a fatal wound.
Or again, it could have been a fake bullet wound. All of it was fake. That the moment that they got that chance, because they had already made an agreement. You saw it
Yeah,
earlier.
they did. They went in the world
Yeah.
back to back.
That
That's
was
what
already
happened.
like established. So even from what I watched, I'm like, okay, something's going on, that they planned it. So I personally think they're dead. I think is that they made the decision to die willingly, because that was their whole thing. Because even Kali said, my story ends here, yours is going to continue or whatever. But I think that they faked out going on the thing with everybody and stayed in the upside down, which is what made them. Because yeah, she was standing away, but not far enough away that's why people were saying, like, oh, but how was she able to use her powers? Because she was far enough away to use her powers, just far enough to be able to contact Mike, say goodbye, and then let them be killed in the Upside Down.
I want to believe she's alive.
half with you, but not.
I kind of think it's
fully.
cool that they killed her
'Cause
off.
I think
it's kind of
sister
cool.
was shot. She was hurt, but held on enough that to get Elle.
Yeah.
Elle was there physically there dealing with Vecna and all that. And then when they came to that, she was on board the truck, but then sister made her invisible.
What did you feel about Vecna? I mean, not Vecna himself. That whole spider
That
thing.
acting scene, no, his
Well, no, not the spider scene.
acted.
I know, but that spider
his
thing
origin
sucked.
where
It's
it's the
gross.
rock, the piece of the rock from the upside world that went in him, gave him his powers.
I understand
Gave
that.
him his
Yeah, that's fine.
abilities.
But that acting, that scene, Jamie Campbell acted out of that scene where he was crying.
Yeah.
He was sucking his lips. I was like, yo,
That
just
kid-
on that he deserves an award. Everything else around him, booty. But that was amazing, yo.
That kid is gonna go far. Based on his
yeah.
voice alone, he
The
can
guy
go.
who plays Vecna?
Yeah.
He's been around for years.
Yeah, but he's gonna
Jamie
go.
Campbell has been.
She's
He's,
followed.
I follow him.
but he's gonna go even further because I didn't know when this thing started that he had a regular voice and then he had that dark,
Yeah,
sinister
no.
Yeah,
voice.
because
He
he was
does-
talking about
he
that,
does,
how he was practicing the Vecna voice.
That's
He was
probably,
practicing until he got to that, because the rest, of course, is all audio engineering, but he had to supply it somehow.
The
And then
reason
his
why he's
whole-
so good at it is because he does like porn books, like audio.
Yeah, but he's
and
also
stuff
a
like
singer
that.
too, because he can.
He does like all
he's
the
a
naughty
singer.
stories on Quinn. He's like one of their biggest readers, so that he does voices like that's why when everyone's like, oh, and I figured out who it was, I'm like, oh, the growling sounded familiar, and that's why I was like, I know this voice, and I looked over, I'm like, is that Jamie Campbell? And I freaked out.
And the fact that he
That's why she freaked out.
when he puts on when the makeup,
that man.
it's a whole different.
It's like Colin Farrell when it comes to Penguin. I didn't
Those-
know
and
it
those
was
are good
I didn't
actors.
know it was
Good
it was
actors.
him, because I watched the movie the first time, the Batman, and I'm like, okay, that
can't believe we made me watch
Penguin's
that movie.
beast. And then they said, yo, Colin Farrell was in it. I said, I didn't see Colin Farrell.
I still didn't watch
And
it.
then
And
he said,
don't-
and then
don't-
they, for her,
don't do it.
it was the 3
Don't
hours
do
of her
it.
worst
I'm
life.
begging you, don't do it. Please don't do it to yourself. Because
If anything, watch the series. The
That's what I'm
HBO
saying, I
Max
can't-
series, The Penguin.
I've never watched the series.
watch the Penguin series.
Watch the Penguin
Penguin's
series.
okay. The
But
movie, the
Colin
Batman movie.
Farrell,
No, the Batman movies.
Colin Farrell putting that on, and then I'm like, get the frack out of here.
I'm surprised that he actually even did that. I mean,
No, he's a phenomenal
actor.
He's a phenomenal actor. I think
Very
people forget that
phenomenal
he's willing to do a lot more than
Yeah.
what people think he
and
is.
he has a son that's very
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
I admire him for that.
yeah. I mean,
So-
he makes concessions too. Time for his son.
Yeah,
And not a lot of
his
work.
family is his world.
Yeah.
Yep.
That man is
That boy is his world too.
amazing. Yeah, no,
His
he
wife and
is
that boy is his
amazing.
world.
Yeah.
Period.
He's an advocate for a lot of different charities too. Like people sleep on him.
But one thing he says, like, it's like, well, do you take it with you? Of course. Sometimes you're proud of your work, you take it with you. And you remember one time, he was sitting somewhere, I think it was some sort of a restaurant or whatever, and he looked across, and some guy was looking at him, and then he had the look, the penguin look of what are you looking at? You know, like he was Cobblepot all of a sudden, and his face showed it, and the dude was like, oh, he just left. He might have recognized him and said, oh, that's Colin. Maybe I should leave him alone and just go after that.
And
It
we'll
happens.
be right back after these commercials.
Hi, I am Charles Laloma, and I am the owner of the LDM Network, and I hope that you're enjoying this episode. But if you want to see past episodes of this show or any other of our shows, go to the ldmnetwork.net. We have large contents of different type of shows, and we even have podcasts. So again, check them out at ldmnetwork.net. So without further ado, let's get back to this.
You really love that whole
So-
Vecna
I
voice,
love
don't you?
Yeah, you have to watch his stuff on Quinn. He's really great. I am so curious what your take is on the Upside Down being, which again, I'm just so stupid in my idea, in my mind, a wormhole.
Okay, she's
I
talking
thought that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
when they
That's
talked
what I was
about
just
the
saying.
I was sitting here
upside
like,
down
Yes.
a
The bridge.
wormhole?
and then the abyss.
Who thought that was a great idea? Like,
That's hell.
No, but the
That's
concept.
what I keep thinking. Like,
All right,
maybe
first of all, the
no.
concept of a wormhole. All right, so they're trying to say that essentially the upside down is the same thing as the what was it? The bridge that they would call Heimdall would the
Oh,
Bifrost.
The Bifrost
That's essentially
bridge.
what they're saying, because the Bifrost is also an Einstein-Rosen bridge, which is what a wormhole is. It's supposed to be a bridge between things that you can traverse. It is not a place that has stability. It does not have life. It cannot actually sustain that. It is just a corridor. So that's why when they said that, I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. That they just established for 3 seasons that this is a carbon copy of their world, just differently, the upside down. Now that they're saying it's a wormhole, how is any of that stable? There's no, it's just a corridor that you can travel. It's not an actual thing you
Pause
can
for a minute.
access.
just to correct what, not to correct, just to add to what she was saying. When they had the scene where they were talking about it, Dustin said, "This is Hawkins and Slash, and then this is the
This is the
upside
abyss.
down, the opposite of the world that they live in, and then this bridge, as you call it, has exotic matter." That's what's keeping that bridge and connecting it to what's the abyss. What they call the abyss, which is another world, because that world, Vecna was trying to, spoiler alert, combined with the real world.
People were living in a boom tube.
So that
essentially.
boom tube
Like-
is what they were using, the
My thing
Demogorgons, all of that
But
to
it's
come
funny
through.
how-
But it
into our
doesn't
world.
make sense.
But if it's an upside down world and it's a wormhole, y'all worried about
No, the
animals
wormhole
coming out.
takes you to the
no one
abyss.
wonder why no Chinese person came out of there? If it's supposed to be on the other side.
I'm gonna leave that one to you. Go ahead.
My only thing with that is that Vecna was even scared of something else.
Yes.
Yeah, it was not that he was scared of.
No.
No.
You can tell.
Yeah, there was something else.
He was terrified of his origins, that story, what he did to the man, and how he became Vecna.
But when he said they, so that means there's something higher than him.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that
in
was that
D&D,
creature.
in D&D,
No, that creature is not it.
No.
in D&D, there's
It's more
creatures
to
that
the
are.
creature because when he said it, the creature was already pretty much there.
Yeah.
Right.
When he said they, he did not mention. Everyone else mentioned the creature.
Right.
But he said they.
Yeah.
There's more than
So
one.
how he-
And you know
There's
what?
more than one, yes.
Now that I think about it, now that we're having this conversation, it just hit me. I will give the Duffer Brothers their due that we were literally discussing the ending of this as if it was a campaign, right? So if you ever played D&D, you know, at the end of your campaign, it's like all the like, oh, but what about this guy? What about this? And what about that? And we're talking about the different things. Literally, the show ended. You didn't see this because you walked away, and I pointed it out to you. So I don't know if you rewatched it. The literal ending is just a campaign book.
Oh,
Of
yeah,
all
I
the
was watching
characters,
that.
their designs,
And the
talking
credits
about the
were going.
chaotic neutral, all
Yeah.
the chaotic alignment, all that. And then at the end of it, the book closed, and it's the campaign of what the Stranger Things campaign, which means that everything technically never really happened. It was a D&D campaign that they played, which is what has been a fan theory for years. Did everything really happen, or was it just
That's what I was saying,
the
like-
D&D game? But that's literally, now that I'm thinking about it, they succeeded in that point. They just made a giant campaign that we are now talking about the different discrepancies. Like, what was Vecna really afraid of? Like, what is that? If we were playing D&D, this would just led into another campaign. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, let's figure out how can we figure out
Then you
those
had the new
information.
kids come downstairs.
And
which
that's where
kinda-
exactly.
That's when
so,
Now-
the next
When the new
campaign will
kids,
begin.
when the new kids came down, I thought this is gonna be the spinoff.
It could be. The
I don't
same
know.
new ones.
It could be.
I know a
because
fan theory, though.
Here's one spinoff that I had in mind that I thought of. Okay. During that time when they explained the whole Papa's experiment and what, because it already showed the rock pierced into the kid had abilities, but it came from the abyss. It didn't come from him naturally. And then in that case, they were using him to create all these others, using his blood. 11 was the one that took the strongest. That's why she was able to compete with him.
Now,
So now, that whole story towards the end, that the whole thing disappeared and it took her with it, which to me is still an illusion. And she did probably disappear somewhere. This experiment's still there. Babies are still being born with that blood. So it could still be another Vecna waiting to be born.
Or the fan theory that I've been seeing a lot of on TikTok is that Vecna is not dead, that they actually never really succeeded in what they thought that they succeeded. He let them believe that they won, right? And then again, I don't understand this because I'm not in the fandom, so hopefully you guys can clarify this for this. at the ending scene where the kids come down, the person who made this fan theory showed that in the background there is a board game, and that board game that was associated with Vecna is in the background still.
I know which one you're talking. I seen that.
And you see it right there in the mantle. So even I was just like, oh, okay.
That's when they start playing Jumanji.
Exactly, right? So, but apparently there's like, and then the color thing, so I looked more into it. So apparently if you go back in certain episodes, things have been changed around. So certain colors are gone now. So something that was red is now gray. Something that was gray is now colored. So they've actually gone back and changed it in actual episodes. So
That's what I'm thinking.
Vecna had,
It's someone's mind.
yeah.
But is it over? I'm gonna say no.
Or was it real?
No, as far as the show and as far as the possibilities, I see possibilities. There's so many of the endings have a way of telling you, there's something more. There's something more.
There
I
has
just
to
feel
be.
it.
There has to be. And before we end the show, I think if they're gonna do a spinoff, they need to use that little chubby kid.
They need to use him.
He is
phenomenal.
He gave it a whole new spin. He gave it a whole new life.
Yeah. Any reason for me to hear Jamie Campbell growl? Yes, sir.
All righty, we're out of here.
Yeah, I'm
See
excited,
you
Mo.
Next time on Nerderica.
We're the Wonder Twins.
And I'm excited, Mo. See ya.
Did you lean in to do that too?
No, actually, that was just.
We both leaned in the same.
Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Nerderica's the name.